広がる渦巻きに回転していて、たかが主の声を聞けない。すべてが割れて、中央が生きられない。無政府状態だけが世界に来ます。
こんにちは、皆さん。This week's video is going to be a lot more lighthearted than last week's video. Now, as you may know, I used to be an Attack on Titan fan. I'm not proud of it, but it's true. These days, of course, I almost go out of my way to just be mean to Attack on Titan fans on Facebook. And of course, I hate the series. I disliked the last arc. I hated the final chapter. The extended final chapter did next to nothing to redeem the story and probably made it worse. I did make a video when the final chapter came out last year, but the audio quality wasn't that good. Sorry about that. But still, all that's in the past, and I am now a former Attack on Titan fan. As a matter of fact, I don't even call it by its proper, more accurate name. I just call it Attack on Titan, just to drive home how much I hate the series. I want people to know that I hate Attack on Titan. I look down on fans of the series. I think you have very poor taste if you're enjoying that series. If you're still watching it, and you heard about the ending, I don't know what to think of you. You are very misguided at best, and it's very cringy to see people enjoying it. As often happens in life, sometimes there are worse things than enjoying the final arc of AOT. One of those things would be being an AOT fan and enjoying the first season in the current year, and especially so to the extent that you start referencing that in your day job. So here's where we get into what actually happened and the subject of this video. So about a month ago, at least the timestamp tells me, I was on Reddit, and I think I was there for the Kengan Ashura thread, the weekly post. But anyway, I must have been on my homepage, and I'm still subscribed to an Attack on Titan subreddit. In fact, that's the only one that I used to go to. And most of them there like the manga. I mean, but I still haven't really left the sub, so I still get notifications. So what I found was this fairly shocking, or at least surprising, post about how Attack on Titan was put inside an Indian examination. Yes, that happened. Now, the title says that it was an board examination, which would suggest that it's some kind of centralized test that students in a given Indian state had to take, and maybe even the whole country. That was a little hard for me to believe, and I found in the comments that that's not true. But anyway, here's the post. I'm going to read it out. I mean this mostly as a joke, but nevertheless, if any of you really hate the series, you're probably not going to enjoy the feelings this brings up, so content warning for Attack on Titan. Okay, so it's a picture of the question paper, and I think that exact same thing has been sort of shared around by several accounts. But anyway, here's the photo, and it's on English, but it also seems to be about political theory. More on that later, but here's the passage. Okay, so the question says that you have to read the passage below, and here it is. 1. While the term Marxism undoubtedly evokes in the minds of most Americans such bloody dictators such as Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong, Marxist literary analysis has little to do with such communistic politics. Instead, it analyzes a piece of literature or a film, or a television show as a product of its time, attempting to see how the values and concerns of that particular period are reflected in the work, along with whether these values are reinforced or subverted. As a case study for Marxist analysis, I've chosen the manga anime Attack on Titan. Now, sure, some people would have some things to say about that, but leaving those aside for a second, let's look at the rest of the passage. 2. The basic plot of Attack on Titan, AOT, or... oh man, it just hurts. Or Shingeki no Kyojin, as it is referred to in the original Japanese, is simple. Humanity has been reduced to a small remnant that lives inside walled areas out of fear of gigantic humanoid man-eating creatures known as titans, and a diverse cast of soldiers strives to defend our species. Cringe. Watching the anime, I soon realized that many elements of the story strongly correlated with certain historic events of 2 generations ago. These events are those relating to the Third Reich in the Second World War, and in particular to the Eastern Front. In this parallel, the humans clearly resemble the Germans and the Titans the Russians, as portrayed in Nazi propaganda. Obviously, though, these parallels would not be exact, as the primary purpose of the series was not allegorical. Oh. Finally, I will attempt to show how these parallels relate to current events. To start with, let us look at some of the characters in the anime. The main character in the story is Eren Yeager. It should be noted that there are variable spellings for various characters due to romanization. It's like every sentence here is triggering me. Who, due to her mother's death at the hands of the Titans, vows to kill all those of that species. This, of course, is quite similar to the genocidal fantasies of regarding not just Jews, but also, oh man, Gypsies and Slavs. The parallel is furthered by the fact that Ere is revealed to be a Titan later. I can't make out that next word. Much as Hitler had unsubstantiated rumors of Jewish ancestry. Lastly, the name Jaeger is German for hunter, which both signifies Ere's actions and furthers the use of Germanic themes and names. Man, that is hard to go through. Not just without laughing, but it's like so much stuff from like the past just comes back. You can look at it. Obviously, this is not just a very facile reading of the manga and anime, but also kind of lacking in terms of like what Marxist literary critique tends to be. I mean, even if you don't know, you would think that someone would guess that. Sorry about the background noise. But you know, you would guess that like if it's called Marxist theory or Marxist literary theory, it's about reading something vis-a-vis Marxist writings. What this had to do with Marx isn't very clear. Although I will say that I haven't really seen like the rest of the papers, so maybe like this ties in somehow with some kind of Marxist reading. I don't know exactly how you would do that with this reading of the anime itself. Like, it's there. You could start talking about like, you know, forces of production and such, and how they're depicted in Attack on Titan, in AOT Before the Fall, and especially, you know, in the last arc with I don't even remember what it was called, like Iceberg Stone or something. I don't care what it's called. Yeah, but like there is like a Marxist angle to Attack on Titan, but whoever wrote this question, and of course like in this poor taste. Whoever wrote this paper didn't watch or read enough Attack on Titan. They are literally like one of those 2013 people who just sort of watched the anime, thought it was cool, and most importantly, sort of confused it with Nazi propaganda. And if this was a thing back then, and I'm not even going to put up citations for this, it's going to be a low-effort video, but if anyone was sort of online back in 2013, you would know that like that was something in like the public consciousness. Attack on Titan, on the one hand, was very popular, and again, people were thinking really that there's a lot of like overt imperialism there, like if whether it's Japanese, I don't know, like militarism or just this Nazi aesthetic or whatever. Like a lot of people saw it that way. It's easy to see why they would, right? From like the first season is promotional material and just those the recurring motives, Colossal Titan, the German sounding names. Okay, I can see it. With the way things turned out, I can't really try to defend Attack on Titan. In fact, that's the most that we can do now. Like, people who hated the ending can't really go back and save their time reading the manga, but at least we can save our energy defending it. But still, like, it has to be said that this is kind of dumb. So, as I was about to say earlier, this is some kind of English test. I was initially confused as to like what. My goodness, I'm sorry about the sound. So I was initially confused about just what kind of test this would be, because this isn't really the exact kind of fare that you just hand to small school children, even if it's not exactly deep or whatever. But like, even so, especially since Marxism is brought in. But this seems to be for the final standard of school learning, which is the 12th class. So there is that, I guess. It's still pretty cringe. I don't know if it's someone's idea of being relatable, or like they're just that big of a weeaboo where they don't understand that they're being very, very cringy. They didn't even bother to like finish the show, and at the top of the image you can just barely see the year 2021 to 22, which means that whoever this is recently started watching the show. Like you think they would finish it for, like going so far as to put it in a question paper for their job in a school. Let's take a quick look at some of the comments. First, let's look at the post where I found it, which is in our Shingeki no Kyojin. A couple of people saying that it has spoilers. I don't know, maybe the next sections, or like the next numbered point has spoilers. This is kind of a spoiler for like, I don't know, something that came out 10 years ago, so whatever. Someone says they wrote about Attack on Titan in their own test. Some people are talking about how this is a spoiler for Season 3. Yeah, but then it doesn't really go beyond Season 1, at least this page doesn't. One person wisely points out, I quote, "This isn't even a Marxist analysis. It doesn't even involve class. The writer just calls Eren Hitler." Yeah, it's just as the first reply says, people just slap AOT in an English essay and call it a day. Maybe that's a thing that people do in other places. Like, you think Indian... I won't call it academia, but you think, like, people in India would act just normal enough not to put that in there. But there you go. That's the society we're living in, where Attack on Titan is inside your very question paper. Okay, so there's this one thread that sort of went into the question of Hitler versus themes of the manga. Okay, so the thread sort of like spiraled into discussion on whether Aaron's actions in the last arc were justified and whether Hitler. Uh, I'm not going to finish that sentence. Never mind. Yeah, pretty much what this guy says. That this is a pretty dumb comparison. Even if Attack on Titan could be put in a question paper, the fact that it's coded and described like this by someone who's only probably seen the first season just screams cringe. Like, it's not even a good comparison. It's not even a meaningful Marxist analysis. It's just referring to some anime for the sake of it, and that's pretty cringy. Nevertheless, some people have pointed out, and this is probably like the only silver lining here, which is that this is not a board exam question paper. This is a pre-board exam, which is like a school test made by school. On the other hand, board exam is made by government. Yeah, basically. Yeah, okay, so like, as these people say, state boards hadn't even started, or at least state boards for the CBSE. So someone else says that it's a pre-board exam. Anyway, you can see how cringy it is, and as I said, the only silver lining is that it wasn't like an official centralized test. The same paper made it to other subreddits, including R India, where people seem to have liked it, I guess. Anyway, in conclusion, this is pretty cringe all around, and it just shows you how poor taste the average Attack on Titan fan has. I pity people who are still watching this. I did not watch in any capacity the recent part of the final season. I heard I heard that the new opening was good. I don't think I've actually played it even once. So, man, I'm doing my part by not doing anything. But then there's people like this. Anyway, I guess this is just your reminder. Not exactly a monthly reminder, but like just another reminder to not be an Attack on Titan fan. With that being said, thank you for watching.